Good afternoon. It's a Monday night. It's 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. What time is it? It's time for the dialogue. I hope you guys are here with us tonight. Hey, get your friends, tag, tell them all. The dialogue been back on. I think this is the fifth show since we've started back, and we're back on tonight. And we got a great show tonight. We're going to have fun. We've had 5 great shows, and tonight we're going to have fun. There's a lot of craziness going on. We're gonna have fun with the night shows, but sadly, we have a couple of dedications with tonight's show, and we want to do those. We want to get those done, and let's move on and have some fun. The first dedication is to Judy Pace. Miss Pace was a beautiful actress who was a familiar face over in the 1970s. She played in Batman, Tarzan, Bewitched, I Dream of Jeannie, which was, and we say this because those were not roles that blacks had in those shows during those times. She played in Sanford and Son, What's Happening, Good Times, and she also appeared much at Showtime at the Apollo, and she played in The Wiz. She left us recently, and the dialogue wants to send our condolences to her family and acknowledge the work that she did while here with us. And also, Kiki Shepard. We were so sad and surprised week before last to know that she had suddenly transitioned from what apparently was a heart ailment. She also played in The Wiz, but she made her greatest impression to us in The Wiz. I mean, in The Wiz. And in Showtime at the Apollo, she was Steve Harvey's cohort during the season that they had that show, when that show was real big. Hello, Alexandras, and she was she was a big star, and again we highlight a lot of our black stars who were seen on the big screen or seen weekly on TV, because we just didn't have a profile like that in the 60s and 70s. And she was one of the ones, along with Steve Harvey, now media mogul, who made it over. Our love and condolences go out to those families, and we thank God for her presence. Controversial, but we're going to show him anyway, because we showed another controversial figure when we came back on as a franchise 5 weeks ago in the person of Charlie Kirk. Chuck Norris, and just heard a lot of negative stuff about him today in regards to misogynism and racism and all of those things. But he has a family and he has a fan base, and many of us didn't know about that. We've never heard black actors that he worked with say anything negative of him. So we're just he's a part of tonight's dedication. He passed at the end of last week. After a medical emergency, and people like me, who's not a kung fu fanatic, because he had black belts and he was taekwondo and all of the jiu-jitsu and Brazilian jiu-jitsu and judo and a star and all of those things. But most of us know him from his big breakout show was Walker, was the Walker franchise, and so. He served in the U.S. Air Force, and Chuck Norris was 86 years old. We salute them and dedicate tonight's edition of Dialogue with Dozie to the three of them tonight. All right. We're not going to get into a whole bunch of news. We're going right into fun. We told everybody in the marketing that tonight we're going to look at America's top 10 cities to visit for a family vacation, and that's what we're going to get to. But let me just get a little bit of this foolishness out the way, and I call this segment Orange Madness. This week in Orange Madness. So what crazy? So President Obama said it like this at Jesse Jackson's funeral a few weeks ago. He says, listen, I don't intend to make this a political statement, he said, but man, we wake up every morning and there's something new. And I cannot tell you about how much something new has occurred. I eat every Monday morning with a group of blessed senior brothers. And they were just saying, man, we've just never seen it like this before because there's something new every day. One of them said, well, what happened to Greenland? We thought we were doing that. We thought that's where the invasion was going to occur. So anyway, let me just talk about very quickly, because I'm not going to dedicate a lot of my energy. I just want our people to be aware. This week's edition of Orange Madness. So we're just learning intelligence, and when it comes to this guy, intelligence and his name don't always go together. But intelligence sources says that he learned, and we're asking the question: is this why we're in war and our sons and daughters are coming back in body bags because of a narcissist who learned through his intelligence sources that Iran had planned a hit for him, and it was indeed Iran who had taken part in several supposed literal shots at him, and that's why he acted so impromptu and started this war. I don't care what you call it. That's exactly what it was. So we just learned that in the last 3 days that's a possibility, and we know how vindictive he is. He's still going after the former head of the FBI, James Comey, after the courts unanimously, the grand juries failed to indict him. Excuse me, he's still going after him. So we know how vindictive he could be. So that's very likely we're in a war because he learned that Iran had a hit out on him. Wow. Can you believe that? Also in Orange Madness last week, he says, I'm going to end the war when I feel it's right in my bones. My mom was watching, so I can't use the language that's running across my mind right now. I just substitute. Who the heck puts lives in danger and spend billions of dollars and then has the audacity to say, when I feel it in my bones? Your orangeness. That's who. Crazy, crazy, crazy. The biggest thing that has everybody in an uproar, almost understandably so, but I won't say understandably so, because there's nothing he does for 30% of America's population, or 27 or 32% of the population, that can shock anybody. Remember in 2016 when he ran, he says, man, I'm so popular, I could stand out in the front of First Avenue and shoot somebody and not go to jail. And literally, that's just about what we're seeing from this guy. So everybody is in an uproar because a solid U.S. citizen who ended up doing the investigation when he first was elected in 2016 or 2015 on the Russia's involvement in the election, died on Saturday morning. And before it could hit the news screens good, he comes out with a statement. I wish I'd shown the tweet that says, good, I'm glad he's dead. And I'm not quoting him. This is loose. Good, I'm glad he's dead. Now he can't hurt anybody else. Can you imagine saying that? What if we had said that about the guy that was going around on college campus and under the guise of Christianity, or under what he thought to be Christianity, spoke against what many of us felt is racism? And you know what I'm talking about, the young man who sadly was assassinated about 4 months ago. What if we said something like that? Good, I'm glad he's dead. You don't say that about an enemy. It's just a common courtesy. But why am I wasting time? You guys know how he is. But y'all elected him. That's your president, okay? And also in this weekend, Orange Madness, President Obama had it so right. I'll always refer to him and Biden as presidents because they honored the office and upheld the honor that the office stood for. Today, he made an impromptu decision on Sunday night that on starting the day, that ICE will be filling in for TSA agents who are calling out because they're not receiving a paycheck right now because of the partial government shutdown. I just saw Holgram, I guess his name is Tom Homan or whatever his name is, the guy that he put in charge of ICE. And somebody asked him, a reporter asked him, was he going to, was it one of their responsibilities, would they be arresting immigrants? And he said, well, the president put him there to make sure that there was safe and expeditious transition for citizens getting on airplanes. But if the wrong people were there, you read between the lines. So I'm trying to center myself here. So this is just who knows, man, who knows? And just before we came on the air, we heard of a supposed deal that's in the making. He was supposed to be shutting down a bombing, because he likes to do that because he has that power. That's what most little boys do. Narcissists, little boys do when they have power, and bullies do. He's bombing Iran, and he said that we were in a time frame that Iran would be being bombed because if they didn't open the straits of humanity, and it has not happened yet. But he says he has not continued through with that promise because there's a deal, quote unquote deal, in the making. Nobody heard of that until this morning. He was boarding Air Force One from down here in Palm Beach County. Amazing, unbelievable. That's this week in Orange Madness. No graphics, no video, none of that. Don't want to give him any smoke, but I just want you to be aware of what's going on, making you aware of what's going on. As our dearly beloved mentor, Dr. Brace, will say, in the great United States of America, and the president that they voted for. Hey, tonight we promised you that we were going to have this is going to be one of those have fun shows. And normally, we do a news segment, current event segment, and we'll venture over into some sports, and then we'll do some culture or entertainment. And at the midway point, we'll do some fun segments. But tonight, the whole show is going to be fun. We've gotten past the foolishness. We'll do a few things during the midway point around the break. But tonight, this is she won't appear on camera, and she's going to get me for even saying this. But been blessed to have traveled all 50 of the states. I'm still thinking that when we made that big California trip, Madam Producer would know, we tipped into North Dakota. That's the only question I have in mind. We've been to all 50 states, been to most of America's major cities many times. The only city I've not personally been to is San Antonio. And I want to do that, but I can't get my wife off a cruise ship long enough to want to take a road trip or even to fly out there. But anyway, she helped me formulate this list of America's 10 greatest cities for a family vacation. I want to say that again. America's, do we have that poster? I had that, and I forgot to tell you, Madam Producer. America's 10 top cities for a family vacation. Now that part is we have to say family vacation, because it's not a singles vacation, it's not a couple's vacation, it's not a senior's vacation, but it's a family vacation. Yes, yeah, that poster. We're going to explore the 10 top cities, and at the end we're going to do a little honorable mention and share that with you. Now, here's the criteria. So Travel Bird says that when planning a family vacation, these are the things that you look out for. First of all, a realistic budget. You don't want to come back and be broke. You can't turn your lights on. You don't have no light bill. You don't have no water. You can't flush your toilets but one time, all of that stuff. But these are the cities that you can get the biggest bang for your bucks. Realistic budget, which includes emergency funds. No matter how you're traveling, you need to have that. That it has to be, the destinations have to be age appropriate for your children or your family that's traveling there alone with you. It has to have diverse activities. Now, when we were traveling, our kids were basically all in the same age range. Madam Producer and her sister were a year or so, maybe a year or so apart, and then the young man was another few years down the road, but they were close enough in age because Madam Producer's gonna get me for this, but she aggravated the heck out of anybody, whatever you did, whatever road trip, however you travel. That's just what she does. She still has the capacity to do that. I'm sure her family and her husband will verify that. But you want to have one that's going to be diverse with activities where everybody can enjoy what you're doing. Also, it has to be one that's safe. My wife and I are not planning international travel. We had started doing that. We even want to go over to Greenland, but that's all out the door right now, probably until Orange Madness is completely over and out of the water streams here in America. You want to be able to have a place where you can get good rest. In other words, you want to get budget hotels, but you want to get a place that you can get good rest and to avoid burnout. You need to have accessible transportation. If you're driving your car cross country or anywhere you drive, to make sure it's in good, reliable shape, condition to drive. And you want to have family-friendly accommodations. If they got video game, whatever your age of your family, you want to have those kind of places. And then you got to have a flexible itinerary. If you're going to Vegas, man, I know mom and dad want to do some shows, but you got to take the kids to circus or somewhere that has entertainment for kids. And these are the things that Travel Bird said that you look for. So with that being said, the number 10, let me see what we're doing with time. We'll work it. The number 10 most popular place. Oh, let me qualify. These are my wife's and my list. We were looking around, finding this and what this agency said and that agency said. And I said, wait a minute. Since God has blessed me to be able to see most of these cities for myself, it's been a long time that I went with them as a family, but I know they haven't changed that much. We came together. There was some compromise, and I'll tell you when we compromise. But the number 10 most family-friendly location for your family to visit is Honolulu, Hawaii.
Must-know travel facts about Honolulu, Hawaii. Planning a trip to Honolulu? Here are some must-know travel facts. Honolulu is the capital city of Hawaii and is located on the island of Oahu. One of the most famous attractions in Honolulu is Waikiki Beach, known for its golden sands and clear blue waters, perfect for swimming and surfing. Don't miss a visit to Pearl Harbor, where you can pay homage to the USS Arizona Memorial and learn about the history of World War II. And for a taste of local cuisine, be sure to try some fresh poke and shaved ice from one of the many food trucks around the island. With its stunning scenery and rich cultural heritage, Honolulu offers a
Now, see, Honolulu is a place that it has the diverse. You got to spend some money to get over. It's a long 6-hour flight from the mainland. I didn't realize that, but to get over there, it has everything. Honolulu is the city that has a history. It has the place for the kid friendly. It has beaches. We take beaches for granted because we live down here in Fort Lauderdale, but it has beaches. It has everything for the kids, but it has all of that history. It has all of the World War II sites and locations. And so Honolulu, Hawaii is a family vacation, but you got to save your ducats up and prepare to get over there. That flight's not real cheap, and you're going to have to also prepare for your stay when you get over there, because it's not exactly the cheapest place, but you will enjoy it if you get there. Now, one of the best ways to do it, if you can incorporate it with the family cruise, I think if you went over a day or two before and jumped on a cruise there that hops the islands from Honolulu back to Honolulu, that's the most budgetary way, if you can save it for that cruise, to enjoy Honolulu. That's number 10 on our list. Number 9 this is where we compromise. I had to throw that in. She loves this because of the TV program that we looked at a lot during the pandemic. Was filmed and was set in Montana. And of course, we did a family vacation to Yellowstone Park. Madam Producer, no comments. We understand all that occurred there. But anyway, let's look at the number 9 region for a family vacation.
5 reasons you should drop everything and visit Montana. Number 5, the Badlands. Spend time in the eastern part of the state and you are sure to come across some Badlands. Badlands are beautiful because of their unique landscape, breathtaking colors and textures, and rugged terrain. Number 4, the 80-mile-an-hour speed limits. There's nothing quite like doing 80 and knowing you aren't technically speeding. The sprawling landscapes of Montana make the open roads so thrilling. Number 3, the wildlife. Montana has almost every famous North American animal, from my personal favorite, the grizzly bear, to the majestic beasts known as moose. The potential for coming across these animals makes hiking all the more thrilling. Just carry bear spray, you'll be fine. Number 2, Big Sky. Montana is correctly nicknamed Big Sky Country because of its wide open spaces and expansive, unobstructed views of the sky. The vastness is awe-inspiring. And number 1, Glacier National Park. This is a must-see in your lifetime. The towering mountains are too majestic to describe, and the pictures never do them justice. Just trust me on this one.
Let me tell you, Montana's worth seeing for the Badlands alone. It is beautiful. It's like you go out and you climb up. It's almost like, what's that in Georgia? Space Mountain or whatever that mountain is in Georgia. I know it's not Space Mountain. That's Disney. But that mountain in Disney, in Atlanta, that's what Montana, the Badlands is like. You get out and you walk and you see different colors. Some of the stone that makes up the mountain is orange, some is beige, some is white. It's just absolutely gorgeous. That alone is who is that? Hey, somebody tried it. Okay, I'm glad I elected him. Good for you. I'm happy to hear that. Thanks for joining the dialogue tonight. Okay, hope you get out to Montana. All right. Okay, Montana was the number 9 selection of our panel of 2, which selected the 10 most family-friendly regions or cities in America for a family vacation. I tell you, you will definitely enjoy, and you can also go to the set of the Badlands. And I think there's a spinoff from the TV series that we enjoyed so much. The TV series, you can go and tour where that ranch and all of that is. It has just increased the revenue and everything out there. So check it out. Okay, check out Montana, a great place. We can get out there. Yellowstone Park. I'll leave that for Madam Producer to remember. I didn't have great memories of that, but anyway, the number 9 location is Montana. The number 8 location, and if it was left up to me, it would probably be closer because it's one of the places I like to do spring break. And it's more of a region than any particular city. But let's hear what the videotape has to say about the number 8 location for a great family vacation. So in order to enjoy this region, what you have to do is start it in Boston. And if you were doing this and you were able to do it if you didn't want to drive up. I like to drive. I just like seeing everything on the web. But if you didn't want to drive, fly into Boston, rent a car, slowly drive up the northeastern coast, the northeastern coast, and tour Boston, spend a couple of days there. There are so many historic sites there in Boston. Being a sports enthusiast, you got all of it's a great sports town. You got all of those sites, you got all of the historic sites to view there. And then I should have worn that hat tonight. In fact, I had it and I took it off. It's where it was the set for Cheers. And there's a model of the bar, and it has where the actors usually sit while they were at the bars and everything. And Boston is because most of these cities have a hop on, hop off tour. where you pay so much, you get on the bus, you hop on, you spend time in the location, hop back on, and it takes you to the next one with a guided tour. But it doesn't stop there. Boston is just the start. Go up to Martha's Vineyard, Nantucket, or Martha's Vineyard. Martha's Vineyard is, of course, where the rich and famous live, including the Obamas have a home there. Most of the rich and famous have homes up there. We personally like to visit it when it's in the springtime, when it's kind of cool, and before the tourists really arrive. You can get around. It's just a little quaint New England towns. And I'm not I don't eat seafood, but I'm told by my other half, it's the best seafood in all of the world. And I know whatever food I do eat is great. And beautiful seacoast, just beautiful. Martha's Vineyard, Nantucket. And Madam Producer, you really ought to come on the show right now and tell us what you did when we went to the Kennedy compound. You ought to really share that with everybody. The Kennedy compound is in that New England area, right outside of Nantucket. And I will put her on the spot, but just beautiful. And then you're really not enjoying the New England area unless you go up to Maine. Portland, Maine is like the bomb. Portland, Maine is the bomb. And there's plenty of things. Arcadia Park. If you go to my personal Facebook page, you see that lighthouse. That is an iconic lighthouse that's seen all over the world. And everybody knows that lighthouse. And they see that and they probably think that that's a photo. Well, it is a photo, but it's a photo that I took with my own camera while we were up there, I think in, 2014, 2015, something like that. It's just a beautiful drive. It's laid back. It's a live and let live. Everybody gets along. The crime rates are low in the main area, particularly those touristy actions. It's beautiful. It doesn't have the things of a big city. And then you come back and hop on a plane in Boston and go back wherever you're from. New England, that is an awesome region to enjoy a family vacation because it has all of the activities. I got to get to two more before we go to break. The next one is the Grand Canyons. Now, in order to enjoy, as a family vacation, to enjoy the Grand Canyons, because they have a lot of activities and it's important how long you want to live there. I mean, how long you want to be there. I would think that after 2 or 3 days, you and the kids both would become bored and you want to see some other sites, but you got all of the things there in Arizona. You're nestled nearly by the cities of Yuma and Phoenix. They have all of the activities of a larger city, and you're not too far from Utah. If you can go, that's one of the prettiest places in all of America. I went there for a golf trip in 2023. What a gorgeous, quiet place. Just absolutely beautiful. We passed through with the kids back in 1994 through Salt Lake City, but all of that just a gorgeous region to be in. While you're there exploring the Grand Canyons. The Grand Canyons, when I went out there as a kid in 1967, I did a rock collection. And I really wish I still had the collection. They were just gorgeous, real, original rocks that were created from the water streams and all of those things. The Grand Canyons would come in at number 7. Is that number 7? Number 6. Number 5. Is that number 5? No, number 6. Number 6. Chicago is my kind of place. I can hear Don Wade from back in the 90s and the early 2000s. Well, the 90s. Chicago, the great DJ. Chicago, the home of Operation Push. The Bears. Mike Ditka. Chicago. Now, some of these Chamber of Commerce needs to be paying me for hyping their cities. Chicago is an excellent place to visit. And well, let me get to it. For us, the culture is so great there. It's very culturally diverse. It has a little everything. You hear about the South Side, but there's also a West Side, the East Side, or a great town, great restaurants, great food, excellent entertainment, great sports town. The Bears are back on top again. They just barely missed the NFC championship game this season. You'll be seeing them for quite a while. Chicago is just a great city. It's home of the Bulls. When we lived there, I got to go over and see Michael Jordan and Rodman and Pippen and that group play one game. Just a great sports town, a beautiful place. The lakes, the lakefront, the Magnificent Mile, it is iconic in its own right. And who can forget Grant Park, the night that President Obama was elected as the 44th president of the United States. And I can still see my mentor, Jesse Jackson, standing there just unashamedly crying out of sheer joy. Grant Park was where the Bulls had all of those 6 celebrations. I can still hear I can still hear King singing the song, "Who There It Is." They would talk about what happened. They say, "Who There It Is." Chicago has everything. Why didn't I say the East Side? Because there is no East Side. It's the lakefront, y'all. Chicago got it all. A great city, great suburbs. You really ought to think about a family vacation to Chicago. Listen, we'll take a break. I'll be right back with the countdown. We'll count down the top 5 cities in America to have a family vacation. So you hear me say it every week. Nothing has changed. It only gets better. Go Giga Creations X, Go Giga X, they got you. Whatever your virtual needs are, it doesn't take anything to email them and get a quote and see what they can do. They can produce a show for you like this, a podcast, and do it as economically friendly as anybody out there. And then they'll come back and do your marketing. They'll help you set up a web page, a cadre of email addresses to contact people to watch your work. Whatever it is, Go Giga X is the team that you want to be affiliated with. The Tutorials and the Kias and that team, I'll put it up against any team out there. The pandemic's over, but we're still doing virtual stuff. It's here to stay. They got you. Go Giga X. We're so glad to be signed on to their team. So the state of Florida, our show last week in the news block, the A block of the show, we had Senator Bracy Davis here to make a last-ditch effort to go on record as saying that we don't support Florida's version of the SAVE Act that this nation is trying to pass, which is just another name for voter suppression. I saw his orangeness this morning before he boarded the plane saying only the Democratic lunatics were opposing that bill. No, I'm not going to call you Mr. President. No, your dementedness. It's not the Democratic lunatics. It's people who want to honor the tenets of the 1965 Voters' Right Act, which opened the doors. Do you know that women just started voting 20, 30 years before then? I felt comfortable without having to deal with poll tax or being dealt with. And then blacks and poor people got the opportunity to start voting through the Voter Right Act, because We just celebrated last week the Edmund Pettus Bridge in Selma, Alabama, where people were beaten viciously to get that right. And that group is shamelessly in Washington, shamelessly doing everything they can to take us back, as Project 2025 is designed to do, to take us back where we don't get to enjoy. Let's see Senator Raphael Warnock's excellent speech on the Senate floor on a rare Saturday night against this bill.
That humankind's capacity for justice makes democracy possible. Our capacity for injustice makes democracy necessary. At the end of the day, the thing that can fix it, whatever issue we have, I believe is the people's voice. And so I'm disturbed about what I'm witnessing. I'm disturbed about an attack on Fulton County and in Maricopa County, Arizona. It troubles me when ICE lands in Minneapolis and then the administration says that we are there to deal with violent criminals. We are there to deal with this immigration issue. But then when it comes down to it, the administration says, do you really want ICE out of your community? Hand over your voter rolls. Come on, man. I don't care whether you're a Democrat or Republican. Come on, you can see what this is about.
The Right Reverend Dr. Senator Warnock, so eloquently, and if you get a chance, go back and look at that whole soliloquy and listen to the tenets, the reasons. Unfortunately, the numbers, fortunately, the Senate does not have a sufficient number alone to pass his orangeness desire to set voters' rights back 100 years. But after he had completed his speech, then Senator Cory Booker came on and fought gallantly. So that's still pending. What we know, we'll see something like a 53 to 47 vote in the Senate, which is not enough to get it over, and that bill will not pass. And but you see what this administration does. You know, the House of Representatives, led by Mr. Christian Mike Johnson, who does anything that this president wants done, will pass until that's changed in November, prayerfully. So these are the things we have to keep our eyes on. But shout out to Senator Warnock and all of those who, it's not about voting down party lines, it's about voting for righteousness. Okay. Speaking of righteousness, I want to shout out a sister tonight that has been a blessing into many of our lives in the state of Florida. And many of us don't even know about her. And I know she doesn't care. She's been on this show several times. But on the night's Black History Spotlight and also Women's History Spotlight, I'm saving her strategically to come on the show for some real hot issues. We want to shout out tonight Pastor Rhonda Thomas. She's our spotlight tonight. Pastor Thomas, well, and one of the things we've wanted to do with the dialogue is, yes, we know Harriet Tubman, we know Mary McLeod Bethune, we know Sister Shirley Chisholm. Those sisters were great, but why not shout out those who are right amongst us right now and doing a great job? There are 21st century freedom fighters who are fighting to make this world a better place right now, to make sure that justice rolls down like righteousness from a mighty stream right now. We want to shout out Pastor Thomas. She'll tell you that she's a proud, and this is kind of a regional thing down here, South Florida. She's a proud Northwestern Bull. Proud Northwestern Bull. I'm not going to talk about what happened in the championship game this year. Duval won, but I live here now. She's a proud graduate of Northwestern High School. She and her husband are the co-founders of the New Generation Missionary Baptist Church in Opelika. And I've been there several times. And the thing I like about it, not only is it a place where God's Spirit truly flows, but it's a place where the youth are empowered to do great things. And that carries over to her work with Faith in Florida. And I'm going to talk about that in a second. It's a grassroots community organization that helps to fight for democracy in this state. It has community organizers, voter registration, voter mobilization, voter education, and it's a group that's represented at one time in 63 counties. We still cover those 63 counties under the direction of Pastor Rhonda, as we affectionately call her. She's the former organizer for SIU, and which is a service organization, and where she protected 2 million members in the healthcare industry and in the public sector. One of the other things Pastor Rhonda did was she led a protest of the University of Miami because of their hiring practices, and went down there and shook it up. You know, you don't have to be crazy, you don't have to be violent to get things done. But when you start doing things that affects people's pocketbooks or ability to get grants, that's what Jesse Jackson did. And we know he was referred to as a Chicago hustler by a former president. But a lot of us appreciated what he did because it leveled the playing field. And that's all people like Pastor Rhonda and freedom fighters are here to do. She's currently the first executive director of Faith in Florida, which is a multicultural, multi-faith, nonpartisan 501(c) organization which connects congregation and community groups across this state to address the challenges of affecting things that's going on in the community. As I said earlier, she was the first African-American woman to serve in that capacity in 31 years. Now, Pastor Rhonda is highly respected across the length and breadth of this nation. Ironically, our groups are called Confederates, and those groups all look to her for leadership. She was one of the first, when Black history was taken out of the schools, to organize that Black history will be taught in community organizations, in churches. That's why I never let an opportunity for Black history to a moment on this show weekly or in church weekly, because of the leadership of people like Pastor Rhonda. She's been honored. She's been featured on with Al Sharpton on MSNBC, USA Today, and the Washington Post. Her leadership is a transforming and empowering leadership. She was given honorary Doctorate of Divinity degree, well earned, well deserved, from the Ocala Theological Seminary. Had an opportunity to see that when they surprised her with that degree was bestowed upon her. And what I like about her, bottom line, is this: she is what you call real and raw. Pastor Rhonda Thomas, we salute you as our Black history glimpse, and our women's history glimpse for this week. And we thank you for the work that you're doing, and we speak that you are just going to continue to do that work, and our prayers are with you. All right, just a few little sports moments. Another historical event occurred this week. I know, don't, no comments, please. Don't say anything funny about Kevin Durant's hair, his hairdo, none of that stuff. Just respect the fact that he moved up the lane and he surpassed his airness, his greatness, Michael Jordan, on the list of all-time scorers in the NBA. Let's see that accomplishment.
Around the Şengün pick to Durant in the corner. The three. It's good! He's done it! He's done it! Kevin Durant has passed Michael Jordan on the all-time scoring list. There are now only 4 men in the history of the NBA who have scored more points than Kevin Durant.
So Kevin Durant is now past Michael Jordan on that list. He only has to catch up with Karl Malone. Well, Kobe Bryant is number 4. Karl Malone is number 3. Kareem is number 2 and LeBron James number 1. He probably never catch LeBron. You got to play basketball till you're 55 to catch LeBron because he's still playing like he's 20 years old. He's not my GOAT, LeBron is not, but I salute him for his ability to keep his body in shape and keep playing at such a high standard as he's playing now. But tonight, the dialogue salutes Kevin Durant on that accomplishment. Michael knew that record wouldn't last long. He still got his 6 championships, and that's all that counts. But Kevin Durant, congratulations, man, and kudos to you. You may catch Karl Malone this year, Kobe this year. And I hope you won't receive the hate that Bam got when he passed Kobe for a single game on the list with a single game shooting record that he did on last week. Records were meant to be broken. They were made to be broken. And one more sports item. We want to talk about the WNBA just passed a historic agreement, their labor agreement. And I side with Stephen A. Smith. He's catching it right about now, but because of his foray into politics, bear spray, yeah, Toy, I remember all of that stuff. The WNBA was given there was a deadline between the players and the Players Association and the WNBA owners. They were given what was probably just a negotiating ploy agreement to settle it in 24 hours sometime last week. And Stephen A. Smith went on his First Take show and said this. He said, don't mess this up. Don't mess this up. You have now gotten to the level where you're getting the notoriety, you're getting the publicity, you're getting the summer is you're owning a piece of that, and you're getting a nice crowd of folk. Don't mess that up right now. Angel Reese and Caitlin Collins, they have really brought the WNBA way into the forefront. The Las Vegas Aces, and they said, don't mess it up. Well, they didn't. They came to an agreement, and our hats are off to them. Some of the tenets of that agreement is, under the new agreement, you wouldn't believe what those girls were making. Excuse me, I didn't mean to use that language. What those young ladies were making. Their average salary was a top salary in the WNBA was $200,000. You had to make your money. That's how Brittany Griner got in trouble in Russia. She's over there trying to earn a living. That should have been made on the court just like men. So now the salary cap has increased 5 times higher than it was, from 170 million this year to 7 million. Wait a minute. It has been set now at 7 million from 1.5 million as it was before this agreement. The maximum to rise to 1.4, and the landmark investments in player experience, retirement benefits, and veteran recognition payments. And now they're working on things like players, transportation, their own planes, and housing accommodations. All of those are being worked with and fixed because of this agreement. And congratulations to our sister, who was the president of the Players Association, and kudos to you two owners for making this happen. We look forward to seeing the season start now. All right, back to the countdown. On to the number five most visited, the most family-friendly vacation spot in the nation as determined by us, the Dialogue. And guess where it is? South Florida, y'all.
Here are 5 fun things to do in Miami you don't want to miss out on. 1. Soak up the sun at the iconic South Beach. 2. Take a tour of the Cuban neighborhood, Little Havana. 3. Enjoy the downtown Miami skyline at night. 4. Be a tourist at Bayside. 5. Drive down the Florida Keys.
So I'm glad they got the Keys in. I could have found a video that just came out and just included Broward. We always get left out. Broward should have been included because we have great beaches up here too. No, South Beach is down there, but the beach that you can actually take your family to and have a great time is here. And also the Hard Rock Casino is here, and I'm not a proponent of gambling, but it has some of Prince's outfits in there, and it's a great place to visit. It's free. So many iconic events and places there to visit, and venues for entertainment, comedy clubs, and so forth. There in South Florida is you just park and just spend a week here, and there's plenty of things for the families to do. You got 2 great international airports within 25 miles of each other, and guess what else you got? What we like to do. You know, a show's coming up on this soon. Both great cruise ports are down here. Miami has a great cruise port, and Broward has a great. Fort Lauderdale has an outstanding cruise port. Did I mention that the Everglades? That's 2-day stay out there for a family right there. South Florida, number 5 on the list of great places for a family vacation. Number 4.
The 10 best things you need to do in Los Angeles. Obviously, the must-see stops are Universal Studios, where you can dive into the worlds of Super Mario, Harry Potter, and Warner Brothers Studios. They've got tons of cool stuff there, including original sets from shows like The Big Bang Theory and Friends. Of course, you've got to walk down the Hollywood Walk of Fame and try to find your favorite celebrity's star. You'll also want to check out the iconic Hollywood sign. But if you're really looking for the best views of LA, head up to the Griffith Observatory. It's absolutely breathtaking. Being in LA and not visiting the Santa Monica Pier is like not going at all. And once you're there, you have to snap a photo with the iconic Ferris wheel and the sign marking the end of historic Route 66. And while you're at it, make your way over to Venice Beach. It's just around the corner. Between the skaters and the vibe, you'll feel like you've stepped right into GTA. Take a drive through the massive mansions in Beverly Hills. If you're lucky, you might even spot a celebrity. And finally, you can't leave LA without exploring downtown. It's the most authentic part of the city. And of course, you've got to hit the Lakers Stadium to catch an NBA game.
So Tinseltown has so much to do and so many places to go, so many places to enjoy. And a lot of those venues that were mentioned on that tape are free. Again, the hop-on, hop-off buses are great there. And the thing that separates them maybe from some other cities is that it houses the movie industry. That's a 2-day That's a 2-day place in itself. We visited there, and while there, I didn't make that trip with the kids. I stayed back at the hotel, but the wife and the kids went by when the Martin Show was in production, and they actually went onto the set of the Martin Show. And it's just got so much going on out there, and I can't hate on it. Yeah, I love South Florida, but LA still is a great place to visit, and it's a very scenic place to go to. I was talking to one of my cousins who lives out there early into the morning hours this week. Just a great place to go. Can't throw no shade on LA. You would enjoy a visit to LA. The number 3 place for a family vacation. I got these listed backwards, so I have to do this. I'm not dyslexic. It's just hard that I have to remember the order. The number 3 place for a family vacation.
Headed to Orlando? You can't leave without hitting these top 5 must-visit theme parks. Let's count them down. Coming in at number 5, Epcot. Where else can you travel the world in one day? You'll eat your way through 11 countries, rock out on Guardians of the Galaxy, and even blast off into space on Spaceship Earth. This park is the perfect mix of food, culture, and futuristic fun. Everyone knows about Disney and Universal, but don't miss this hidden gem. Number 4 is Fun Spot America, home to high-speed go-karts, classic arcades, and Orlando's only wooden roller coaster. Big thrills, smaller crowds. Next up at number 3, Universal Studios Florida. Step into the movies with epic spots like Diagon Alley, The Simpsons Ride, and Transformers. Plus, take on the Hollywood Rip Ride rocket. But hurry, it might not be here forever. Taking the number 2 spot, Islands of Adventure at Universal. If you're a thrill seeker, this park is your playground. Brace yourself for the heart-pounding Velocicoaster, the wild ride on Hagrid's motorbike adventure, and the insane loops on the Hulk. Get ready to scream. And finally, number 1, Magic Kingdom at Disney World. This is the ultimate Disney experience. Zoom through Space Mountain, eat a Mickey pretzel, and cap off your night with fireworks lighting up Cinderella's castle. Pure magic. Which park claims your top spot? Drop it in the comments and follow the Travel Countdown for more travel tips.
I'm about 97 and a half years old, but I got to admit, my eyes still sparkle, and we are often in Orlando. We're family, two of our three kids live in Orlando. We're there quite often. I still get excited when I know that we're going there taking one of the grandkids, or if I know they've gone and they come back and talk about and I'm dying like my brother Anthony. I want to see the Magic Kingdom again myself. And if you live in the state of Florida, there's so many great discounts that you can get to see many of these tourist attractions. And one of the places or these theme parks, one of the things about them is that you can actually walk around the outskirts of them at night. And if you do the Magic Kingdom, the outskirts of Disney itself, you can very well see the fireworks display. From our timeshare, you can see the fireworks display. I remember when Orlando was just a place that you drove through to get to Tampa. Once you got past downtown, it was nothing but orange groves. Well, not anymore. One little mouse came to town and everything changed, and it changed for the better. I drive all of these iconic places. You'll love Orlando. There's plenty you can do. You budget, you prepare, and there's so many free things you can do. What a great place for a family vacation. No family should not ever spend time in Orlando. It's not number one on our list. The number two spot is, where. I can't sing it like Frank Sinatra, so I won't even attempt it.
Top 10 places to visit in New York. Number 1. Times Square. Number 2. Central Park. Number 3. Statue of Liberty. Number 4. Empire State Building. Number 5. Brooklyn Bridge. Number 6. Broadway. Number 7. High Line. Number 8. Museum of Modern Art. Number 9. Rockefeller Center. Number 10. St. Patrick's Cathedral.
You could actually enjoy New York by budgeting and going up on a Thursday, flying up on a Thursday. What we do is we like to live in Yonkers, at a nice, 4-star motel in Yonkers, and drive down to the city, drive over to the city and enjoy the city, or get, not drive down. Most of the time we like to take a train over, or now Uber over, and just hop on, hop off bus, enjoy all those sights, and then hop back out, hop our happy behinds back over to the hotel and enjoy. It's still the greatest city in America, in the world to visit. We've been to Paris, we've been to London. Nothing compares to New York City. It has it all. Broadway is there, the entertainment capital. It may not be LA, but I can remember Times Square, going there with my mother one spring and my auntie one spring night. It was 1 o'clock in the morning, something like that. And I told them, I said, you'll be amazed at how many people are walking the streets. Because the city never sleeps, you understand. You'll be amazed at how many people walk the streets this time of night there. My mother should have played the video. Mom said, go to sleep. She said, go home and go to sleep, y'all. Go home and go to sleep. New York is just an exciting place. Can't hate on it. But it's still not number one. You're going to be surprised at what we selected for the number one place for a family vacation. And it's this. It is the nation's capital. From the iconic Lincoln Memorial, which served as the backdrop for Dr. King's I Have a Dream speech, to passing by the White House. I don't have enough bleach to shower with after going to the White House now. But when the right people are in the White House itself is a decent tour. but just they have some of the greatest tours that places we've ever been. You can get a good discount tour that'll take you by the Mint, where the money is made, by the FBI headquarters, by the Capitol, the Supreme Court. There are limited areas that you can travel. It's just a very exciting place. The Virginia, Maryland, DC area. My suggestion is stay outside of DC, live in nearby Maryland. Maryland is a better place to live. Get the Orange Line into the city and hop on one of those buses or hire a tour. They're very reasonable. DC, did I leave out? You know, the King Memorial now, and also, and we pray that it's still intact by the time this Orange Madness is over. That is the Smithsonian, the Museum of African American History. It's the best that we've ever been to. We've been to the other 4 across the country. It's absolutely outstanding. We'll talk about it at a later date. So we just counted down the top 10 cities in America, and I got the clock slapping me upside the head. But we had about 7 cities that qualified as honorable mention, and very quickly, let's see just something about them. First, there's Seattle, Washington. Seattle, which is prestigious, north, the Emerald City, the Dream City, King County, which is the prize of the Northwest, the Space Needle, and that's the place where all of the airplane engines, the airplane parts are made. And you would love Seattle. Boy, the people in Atlanta gonna hate me. San Francisco, such cultures in San Francisco. You got Chinatown, you got so many areas, a diverse population. Healy, it's beautiful. The iconic Golden Gate Bridge, so many places, such fine dining. San Francisco, yes, it's a place for family free. The city of Houston, y'all gonna hate me, Atlanta. How did we leave y'all out? Atlanta, Houston has the Astrodome is still in existence. At one time, that was one of the great, they call it the number one wonder of the world. It's a great place for a family vacation. NASA is there. So many things to do there in Houston. And you go to this place, you're not going to believe this one, Alaska. And I'm listing just the state. But what I would suggest to you to really enjoy Alaska, it's one of the cheaper, you wouldn't believe it's one of the cheaper cruises to do. And you catch you about 8 or 9 cities on a 7-day cruise. It only cruises there until, like, for obvious reasons, until about the second week of the month of September. But you will love what Alaska has to offer. Again, I don't eat seafood, but I'm told it has the best salmon in the business. And this, I debated, and maybe Atlanta needs to be here, but New Orleans, Bourbon Street. And, you know, it has a lot of history, a lot of cultural history there, and a great place also to do a family vacation. We have enjoyed tonight bringing you this. We always enjoy doing these shows where we tell you about the places. We've traveled abroad. We travel abroad now, but you don't even have to leave the States to have a great, economically sensible, feasible family vacation that will give your families memories forever. My dad and my uncle gathered together after a funeral and decided to take our 2 families on a trip cross country over to California. And we saw all of these great states, and it prompted a vacation that my wife and I did for our kids when we were living up outside of Chicago. And we did the same thing going down around Washington and coming back through to the Chicagoland. And then the next year we went to the Northeast and came back home to Florida, and then back up through DC. Just this from sea to shining sea, to the Space Needle in Washington, DC, to the Ark in St. Louis, Missouri, to all that Atlanta has to offer, to what we have here, my hometown of Jacksonville. This is a beautiful place, and it has great places to take your family on a vacation. That's as I see it tonight, and we want you to just prepare. You need to do that. You need to get your families, your kids need to be orientated to what this nation has to offer. and you need to get away and rest and enjoy yourself. That's how I see it. That's the show for tonight. That's all there is. Thank you for hopping on. We are a little over, but thank you. Join us next Monday night. Dialogue with Dozie. We'll be right here with another live show. We'll have a little comedy in that show, okay? Next Monday night, Dialogue with Dozie, right here. See you.